Hello, today we are painting a Maine Coon cat with acrylic paints. So to start off, you're going to need a canvas. This right here is an 8 by 10 inch canvas. Anything around this size will work. I'm using a large, medium, and small flat brush and a small round liner for details. I need a paint palette, some sort of paper towel or washcloth, and some water to rinse the brushes. And then for acrylic paints, you're gonna need black and white, green and blue for the background, and then brown and some sort of pink. This is a coral pink, and this is a burnt sienna. Those I think would work the best, but you could also mix your own pink with some magenta or some red. I also recommend having some sort of yellow on hand to mix with your green, and if you want to make your eyes yellow, you could use that yellow for your eyes as well. Okay, and these are all acrylic craft paints. You could use either acrylic craft paints like these in these tubes or whatever acrylics you have on hand. I know a lot of people use more like these fine art paints, but I like the craft paints because they're affordable and they work great. So first off, we're going to paint our background, starting with some blue for the sky. I mix some white in with my blue just so that it's a little bit lighter than what's in this tube. I find that the lighter the background is, the easier it is to paint on top of it. So I like to start with a nice light blue. And then I'm just gonna paint. So starting off, I like to paint a line across what's called the horizon. That is where the sky meets the ground when you're painting a landscape or anything with skies and ground. So you paint that horizon line on there. And then I like to paint down the side and in. All right, and then same thing over here. Paint the side and in. Getting everything covered here at the top of the painting, making sure there's no white peeking through at all. Cover it up completely. And I'm trying to use as much of that paint as possible. All right. Once that's nice and blue, I'm going to get my green. A little bit of green. I'm going to rinse my brush. And I'm going to mix just a little bit of yellow in that green. A little bit more. I'll just lighten that green up a little bit for me. Because just like the sky, I want my grass to be a nice light green so my cat can stand out against it. And again, I like to paint along the horizon first. Make it nice and smooth and fill it all in. Now once your grass is finished, just gonna clean that up a little bit. Rinse your brush, get that totally clean, and put it away because we are done with that brush. And you will need this background to be dry before we start painting our Maine Coon. So get out your hair dryer if you have one and dry all of this off with a hair dryer. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wait about 10 minutes for it to dry. Now that's dry. I'm getting out my brown paint. Stick this guy back under here. And I'm gonna start with my brown paint. Little lighten that up with a little bit of that yellow and some white. Grabbing my medium-sized flat brush, I'm going to mix all that together. Okay, and we're going to start with this color that's like right in the middle of the darkest brown we're going to use and the lightest brown. But I want to start with something kind of light like this and get all of our basic shapes in here. Okay? So usually I start with the body. I think this time we're going to start with our cat's head, and we're going to start right in the middle but go up a little bit. So just point to the middle, boop, just up a tiny bit from there. Paint a C shape, completing this circle on the other side. It's kind of like an oval potato shape. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get some white on my canvas or my palette too, because I'll show you how to blend some of this to make it look even better. Grabbing that white, I'm gonna put it right in the middle of this circle and blend it up. Blending it up. Focusing just on that center spot to begin with. I'm going to blend it with this darker brown, making the middle of this face even lighter. Okay? Going back with that original brown. 1, 2. Let's add an ear. See how much space there is above that ear? We don't want these to go too high. Yours could be a little bit higher than mine, but we don't want it to be too close to the top. Okay? So we're adding some triangles for ears, and we're going to put the body on now too. So follow the bottom of this chin, just paint a straight line, and then we're gonna come down, down, down like this. Curving this line in like this, giving those fuzzies. Because Maine Coons have this beautiful tuft of fur right there on their chest, and we want to make sure that we make that look just like that. All right, and then, so you came down like this, we're gonna come down again, like that, for a back leg, right into the green. You can actually take this and go straight over. Straight over. I know that's a little weird, but trust the process. And we're gonna do the same thing over here. Connecting to that. Okay. Maine Coons are known for being big cats, so that's why we're just gonna go right ahead and make him as fluffy and big as possible. Let's stick a tail right here, flick up, 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 and then we're just gonna make that bigger. Alrighty, it's looking pretty good. I want to make sure there's no background coming through. So I'm going to go back in now. I'm going to get a little bit more brown. Make this just slightly darker. Just a little bit darker. And I'm going to put these feet on my Siamese. So right here on this side with this darker brown, I'm just putting a little circle right on the edge. Again, little darker brown circle. Just coming right off the edge here. Okay. This darker brown can be used to go along the outside of this fluff in the front, kind of make that more distinguished. Going along the outsides of it. Throw a little bit more of this dark brown in the tail. And maybe a little bit on top of the ears. Oop. I lost some of the point there. We'll go back and fix that though with a smaller brush. I don't want to mess with it too much with this big brush. Now, the last thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put some more the front legs in here too. So coming right down from this fluff, I mixed a little bit more white into my paint, and I'm going straight down, straight down. And you can do a little line flat like this and curl. Front foot. Same thing here. Straight. Curl it. It's okay if it overlaps that back foot. Some big old meaty paws on your Maine Coon, because they got some big feet. If you've ever had a Maine Coon, you know. Now I'm going to take my white. I'm just going to mix it in with a little bit of the brown here. Now I'm going to come through and add some more highlights. Right on top, blending as we go. The legs here. Blending it in the tail. I want some more almost white here in the face. Alrighty. Get a little bit more here. Just the front. Okay. Now that we got this basic stuff done, rinse your brush and put that medium-sized flat brush away. You can be all done with that. Let's get some details in here. I think today I'm just gonna skip using this small flat brush, and I'm gonna just use my round detail brush. I'm gonna get out tiny bit of pink. That's too much. It's crazy how little, you only need the tiniest little bit of pink. It comes out of the tube way too quick. All right, I'm also using a little bit of this other pink that I have, mixing these two together and grabbing some white. I want this to be a very light pink. And I'm gonna put it in the ears. Even more white, even. Throw that in the ears. And we're gonna use that for a nose right in the middle of the face. I do a horizontal line with a little triangle at the bottom. Nice little nose there. Now I want you to get out whatever color you're gonna use for the eyeballs. I want some yellow eyes for my cat. So I'm gonna mix this really light yellow I have with some darker yellow. And I'm gonna do this step now because I need it to dry before we move on to the black. So get this yellow right here, horizontal line, curve to the top. Straight line, curve, it's like a half circle. So get those two half circles in there. Beautiful. We're done with the yellow. And I think we're ready to move on to some of these details. So I'm gonna get my brown out one more time because I see some places where I'd like to have some dark brown. Getting my brush nice and coated with it. I'm gonna come around and I'm gonna add some fluff on the sides of the face. So like little triangles with this darker brown. Blending it in nicely. If you need to get some lighter brown to help it blend, do that. I'm just going around here and I'm going to blend this in. Maine Coons have that really distinguished M on their forehead, so I'm going to make sure to not leave that out. So with this dark brown, paint that little M. Go back in with some light. That's how I'm going to blend it. And then I'm just going to go through with this dark brown, and again, any spots that I feel like could use a little bit more definition. Maybe make his fluff a little bit more fluffy here. And then when you're done with that, we are going to move on to black. Get a little bit of black. You do not need very much. And with your brush still wet, get that thing coated in black paint. Okay, you want to be able to draw some really nice thin lines and have that paint go a far way. So practice a few lines if you need to. Remember, you're pressing very lightly. Don't press too hard with the brush or you'll make thick lines, and we don't want those thick lines. Okay, starting right here, I'm gonna outline my eyes first. It's a kind of tricky place to start, so if you want to practice somewhere else first, please. Maybe you want to just do the mouth first. Go down and curl up. Oop. Down and curl up here. I add a little chin. I can also outline my nose. And I'm going to put in my eyeballs because I want these to dry by the time I finish all these outlines. So putting in black circles in the top corner. Okay, we want those to dry after we finish this last step. So now we're going to go around and we are going to outline everything. So using the same technique we were just using, I'm going to go around and I'm going to just outline. Remember not to press too hard. And also remember that this is a bit more challenging and it takes a lot longer to get the control of your paintbrush to be able to make nice thin lines like this. So if you're not getting this right away and it's not looking the way you want it to, do not worry. Just keep practicing doing lines like this, outlining your paintings, because you're going to get better and you're going to see it's going to become a lot easier to do outlines, I promise. And that will translate to everything else in your painting will become easier. So we're doing these toes, just like that. I'll show you a little bit more on this side. Go down, over and back up right there. Curl down, 3. Along the belly, along this leg. One more foot here. These are a little bit different than some of the other feet we've drawn because you want them facing forward. So these are like perfect circles or ovals instead of just these half ovals like in the front. The back feet kind of look like pumpkins. 3, like that. Okay? Oh, last but not least, okay, we want a nice fluffy Maine Coon tail. Just like that. Fix that a little bit more. All right. Now I'm rinsing my brush super good. Get all the black off of there. You really want no black left on that paintbrush. Get out your white, just a drop. Seriously, the smallest little drop is all you need. Because we are just putting some white dots in our eyes and then we're gonna be all done. So dry your painting, dry off all these little black spots. Okay. And just dipping your brush in the white. I'm going to paint one dot here in the corner and one dot here in this corner. Okay. Now I am nitpicky. I like for things to be perfect, so I'm going to fix this little spot where I feel like my line got too big for this mouth. Okay. Add a little bit of white. You might want to go through with this white and add some finishing details like this. That'll just add that last finishing touch to your painting and make it look all that much better. Of course, you can keep going. Maybe you want to add some more stripes to your Maine Coon, maybe some more white. But I think this looks pretty good. And that it looks like a Maine Coon cat, and I'm very happy with it. So I hope that you are happy with your Maine Coon as well. I hope you had a lot of fun acrylic painting with me today, and that you come back and join me for another cat painting or any of the other paintings that we have available. There are going to be a ton of different animals and cat and dog breeds and all of that to help you learn how to paint with acrylics. So thank you so much for watching and following along today. And until next time, bye-bye.